All right, we'd like to welcome you to our Elmore County Commission work session, Monday, March 13, 2017 at 5 p.m. We'll call the meeting to order. We'll begin with regular business, review the minutes of the February 23rd, 2017 Commission meeting. Are there any corrections? Are there any comments or questions from any commissioners regarding those minutes? All right, review the minutes of the March 7, 2017 Commission meeting and any corrections. All right, moving forward to review the memorandum of warrants for the period of February 16, 2017 through March 7, 2017. Duffy?
Yes, Chairman. The amount for the period stated was $2,121,527.
Thank you. All right, proceeding with our old business, we'll consider the Central Elmore Water and Sewer Authority Board appointment, which is due March 27, 2017, which is our next meeting. The current list of candidates that we have consists of Ron Johnson. Any commissioners have any additional names to consider for that position? All right, we'll proceed with new business. We'd like to invite Sheriff Bill Franklin to come forward. All right. Thank you, Sheriff. So if we understand correctly, the Tier 2 will be the individual who is either comes in fully experienced or the individual as soon as they're prepared and qualified, then they would advance from Tier 1 to Tier 2. So you've successfully incentivized a government job, right? You've given someone an incentive to do their job better. All right. Any comments or questions? All right. Thank you, Sheriff. Miss Maddie Lewis from Crenshaw Park. Is she here? All right, Mr. Jerry Purcell, the Executive Director of the Wetumpka Area Chamber of Commerce, will invite you to come to the podium. And
thank you, Mr. Chair, and honorable members of the Commission. Thanks for the opportunity to share with you a little more detail on our request for financial support, which was made on January the 26th. Before I do that, let me point out I've got members of our Chamber of Commerce Executive Committee here. By the way, I am Jerry Purcell. I'm the Executive Director of the Chamber. I didn't mention that, but Russ Jones is here with us tonight, who is the Chairman of the Chamber Board, as well as all of you know him as the Revenue Commissioner. Ricky Roberts is here as our Treasurer. Eric Hyde, Edward Jones also on our Executive Committee. Tracy Hart with Wind Creek Hospitality is here, and Jamie Young, who is the Assistant Deputy or Assistant Director in the Chamber offices. So we are delighted to be here, and we're delighted to be located just down the street in our new building here. I would point out just at the beginning that you may or may not know this already, but we had some 40 residents of Elmore County and Wetumpka who put their skin in the game and raised over $1.5 million to make that innovation center just down the street happen. If you have not had an opportunity to look at it, we'd love to give you a tour of it. It is a phenomenal building, and I can say it represents Elmore County and Wetumpka very well. Whether it's somebody from state government coming in, whether it's a corporate executive looking for site location, or whether it's someone new moving into Elmore County, it makes a great first impression. And it is, we're not quite running on all cylinders yet, but we are getting close. In fact, I want to just give you a report that goes along with our request. One of the things we do there is we incubate new businesses in Elmore County, and we already, having just cut the ribbon back in October of 2016, we have 5 tenants already operating out of our building. Of course, one of those is Main Street, who is kind of spearheading the redevelopment of the downtown area. But also, we have a technology company, OTS, that has now already 4 employees. Again, they just started last year in our building. Omega Brokers, who is a new insurance agency that has 1 employee but has a network of several dozen agents. EBC Mortgage, which is out of Orlando, has announced they're opening a satellite office here in Elmore County in our building, and they'll start with 2 employees. I'm also excited to announce there's a company called MediRisk, who we just signed a lease agreement with last week. MediRisk is a non-emergency transportation service for the disabled, for seniors. They have a license basically to operate throughout Elmore County. Now, they're starting with 3 employees, and I expect some pretty solid growth with this company because they've already purchased 2 Ford vans from Tallison, the Ford dealership in Tallahassee, and these are fully fitted vans for the disabled. They're now negotiating with our local Wetumpka dealership, Ford dealership, for another sedan. So they're in rapid growth mode. But I say that just to kind of give you the essence of what our mission is, and it's beyond the boundaries of Wetumpka. It goes throughout Elmore County, and we are very unique. If you look at chambers of similarly situated counties and cities across the state, you're not going to find many innovation centers like we have with some 10,000 square feet. So that's one of the reasons for our request. Obviously, our role as a chamber here in Wetumpka has now expanded beyond Wetumpka into the county. Our costs have gone up. Operating costs, insurance costs, liability costs, everything that you can imagine in terms of running a building that went from a footprint of 1,800 square feet to 10,000 square feet. So that's sort of the nexus of our request. We also are doing some other things. I'll point out we have a program for high school students It's called Rising Leaders of Elmore County, in conjunction with Troy University, that will be rolling out in the fall. That's available to all of the high schools in Elmore, not just Wetumpka High. We're going to be identifying the top 40 rising seniors on the basis of their leadership ability, and we'll be bringing them in for some training programs as well as scholarship dollars. We have an intern program that we just launched last year. We've had 4 interns so far. Our objective this year is to have between 8 and 12. Again, these interns are coming from all of the high schools in Elmore County, not just Wetumpka. Visitor Center is now a dedicated visitor center, so folks that are looking to move into Elmore County, be they military relocations or just folks moving in here wanting to have a great quality of life, they're coming into the visitor center first, usually. Other things, and I'll close with this, Mr. Chair. We're doing some things that are giving the county a really, really good look beyond the county. We just had what we called a best of the best kayak bass fishing tournament. The 2 best kayak bass fishermen in the country came in here 2 weekends ago, and just absolutely loved it. They had a sort of a Coosa showdown, but they also fished in Lake Jordan as well. But we're going to be doing more of that. Our objective is to make Wetumpka and Coosa and Elmore County a kayak fishing destination, not only for the South, not only for Alabama, but for the whole country. Some of the things that have been said in the press about this particular area with the Coosa uniquely situated in between 2 beautiful lakes, is that this is the most ideal lake-river fishing combination for kayak bass anglers in the country. So we anticipate some very good publicity for the county in that regard. One final thing that I mentioned in that letter on January 26th is the parking lot. As you know, we have a open space behind our building. We consistently see between 6 and 10 cars there every day. That is for county business primarily, and we are happy to do that. Of course, there are upkeep, liability costs associated with that, the security lighting, and then of course the unforeseen risk of accidents and liability that you can't always predict in advance. So on the basis of those things, again, we are not the typical chamber. We are operating more now as a center for all businesses who can come in and get consulting on their business plans. They can have some practical help in launching their business here in Elmore County. So on the basis of those things, we have made our request for $5,000 from the county for an appropriation. Subject to that, Mr. Chairman, I'll take any questions or however you wish to proceed.
All right. Thank you for that information and the details regarding what you're doing as an organization, and we do appreciate that. Any comments or questions from commissioners?
I got a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
One question about the 5 tenants that are presently in the building. Have they started securing places to open up businesses here?
That's the plan, Mr. Commissioner. We have 3 phases of incubation. The first phase is what I sort of, and it's not an exact science, but it's about a 6-month to 12-month phase, and that's where they're just starting. Perhaps they haven't hired anyone. Maybe they don't have a business plan, a marketing plan. We help them do all that. We help them put together a business plan. And in addition to that, we are helping them make introductions. We would bring them by to meet you gentlemen. We would bring them by to meet accountants, attorneys, banks in our community. So we are doing those things in that first phase. The idea then is to get them into a position where they're actually bringing in revenue, making sales, and making a profit. That's phase 2. That's generally around 6 months to 18 months, that period of time. And then the third phase is really we're preparing, and I'd like to affectionately say we're going to kind of boot them out of there. That's our goal over an 18 to 24-month period, is to get them stable, to get them profitable. At that time, you would probably anticipate between 2 and 6 employees of that company, and then the idea then is to go and help them find a place to locate in this county so they can continue to hire and produce not only jobs but revenue to the county and city.
Okay. My second question, then I'm through. The next to last bullet point, where the city withdrew their $10,000
Yes, sir.
support, is that all of the support, or are they doing anything?
No, sir. They still, I think, and our treasurer's here, it's around $25,000. They still contribute. The city is one of our top 2 biggest contributors, and have been for years.
Okay.
and we're very appreciative that they continue to maintain that support.
Any other comments, questions?
Yeah, I had one. Mr. Purcell, I want to tell you, my personal company is a member of the chamber.
Yes, sir.
As we are in Millbrook, and I understand the importance of the chamber, and I appreciate what you and the volunteers that have come here tonight and the other members. I appreciate what you do. But I also know that your funding needs are not unique. I did a little research prior to me being appointed to the commission, and we had received funding requests from 2 other chambers, of which they received letters saying they were not putting this in the budget that this commission inherited.
Sure.
But to your parking lot issue, what I can surely tell you that would support if it came about where we needed to is helping with the parking lot. You are right. I'm sure the fact that we've taken away numerous parking spaces due to our construction has put some stress on your parking area. And so hopefully in the next few months we'll be finished here, and whatever point in time we're finished and we do free up some space, I could surely support asking the county engineer to look at your parking area, and if we can do a one-time upgrade with some crushed stone or something to help with that, I could surely support doing that for you.
Sure, and thank you, Mr. Commissioner. We would gladly accept that help. I would point out to your first point, the difference between Millbrook and Tallahassee in the operation of the chambers. First of all, our staffing level is greater. The programs that we're offering through the Innovation Center and the Incubation Center are new, but they are different. So nobody really, aside from Montgomery, and I think Gadsden has an incubator, and I think Alex City just opened one. We are unique in the fact that we operate that center, which makes us, it's a differentiator for us and makes us different. And as a result of that, we are pulling, for example, if there were a member in Tallahassee or Millbrook, and we very much support those operations, those chambers as well. We all kind of co-belong to each other's organization. But if they had a member that needed business consulting services, we would gladly, and I've talked to the directors of those respective chambers, we would gladly say, hey, come over here, we've got a AUM consultant or one of our collegiate partners that are coming over to provide business consulting all day long. You're welcome to attend here and then go back to your chamber. I mean, we don't look at it as territorial. We look at it as a countywide service that we provide.
Right. And excuse me, that's very encouraging to hear, because I actually served on the chamber board and when it was discussed buying the building, and what you just described was the concept that was discussed, and I would like to be able to tell you how many years ago that was, but it was maybe 4 or 5 years ago,
yes,
I
sir.
guess. But so it's good to hear you explain it in that fashion.
Well, thank you for your service, and thank you for being a member of the chamber as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you, Mr. Purcell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, we will move forward with the next item, considering a resolution approving an application for the formation of an Elmore County Industrial Development Authority. I'd like to invite Trey Hill from Bradley ARANT, who represents the Elmore County Economic Development Authority. And Trey, if you could just give us a brief rundown of where we're at on that.
Sure. Thank you, Chairman, and the other members of the Commission for inviting me. I've had the good fortune to work with Jeff Courtney and Lisa Finley, who is the Executive Director of ACEDA, the Elmore County Economic Development Authority, in exploring forming an Elmore County Industrial Development Authority, or ECIDA, if you will, which could serve as an arm or a mechanism for the Elmore County Commission to look at economic and industrial development projects that are looking to locate or expand in Elmore County. Regardless of whether you're in a municipality, unincorporated Elmore County, the jurisdiction for the ECIDA is the entire county. The Industrial Development Authority law was introduced a number of years ago, and it is used by counties all over the state to form IDAs to help promote the creation of jobs and the expenditure of capital. That's what it's all about. And last legislative session, the Alabama legislature amended the primary tax incentive law, the tax abatements, where a county or a city or an IDB or an IDA can approve tax abatements, a sales and use tax abatement for construction materials, a property tax abatement over a 10-year period on the non-educational taxes. And so the county industrial development authorities have the ability now to grant tax abatements on a county-wide level, and in my estimation, it's going to be the preferred choice of entity for these local economic development agencies across the state. And so we formed an application that was filed with the probate court on Friday, which effectively would create this ECIDA upon the Commission's approval, and the Commission would have the authority to appoint the 5 members of this organization that can meet regularly, and they can meet very quickly if an economic development project were to come in, because a lot of times when local jurisdictions are looking to induce a company to locate, you have to act very quickly, you have to act very confidentially. And so this would provide a nice mechanism for the county to promote economic and industrial development in Elmore County. Do y'all have any questions?
Thank you. Any questions? We appreciate your time and effort. Many of us have spent time in our conference room meeting with you to become more familiar with the process and the expectations and what else has been done in other parts of the state in response to the legislative action that took place last year.
Chairman, I have one question. Mr. Hill, as I understand it properly, there are 3 other similar organizations that was established by municipalities in the county. And as I understand it, that the presence of this countywide IDA established by the county, it would not affect those other 3 IDBs and their authorizations to do anything or powers or anything.
That's correct.
Is that correct? Okay.
One question I got, since Commissioner Mercer brought that up, but the county industrial development authority could go ahead and handle the tax abatements to deal with the business without going through the municipalities, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you all.
Thank you. All right, we will proceed with the next agenda item, considering the Elmore County Economic Development Authority ACEDA Board appointment, which is due 3/27/17, and we have the candidate's name, John Strickland. Are there any other names that have been brought to any of the commissioners? Okay, we'll move forward. The next item on the agenda is the consideration and discussion of Elmore County Industrial Development Authority Board appointments. These would be the 5 appointments for the IDA, which was just discussed. As we go through and discuss these names, it's my understanding, and Mr. Courtney could verify, Seat 1, Gwendolyn Long, is that correct, and Art Faulkner were both original signers on their document that they...
Yes, Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
Right, so those being original signers on the document that was filed with the probate, they would automatically be part of that.
That is correct.
The other names, Harris Gardner, I think it's Harris Garner, and Rhett Smith, 2 other names, and then Seat 2 would be decided at a later time. Is there any discussion on any of these names or individuals or this process?
Chairman, I'll just share that the members of the IDA would come from those members of the ACEDA board, and so that's where these names have come from. And
okay, so the Elmore County IDA is established inside of the ACEDA organization.
Yes.
So the members of the IDA board would be comprised of members that are already existing on the ACEDA board.
yes, that is correct.
Yeah, go ahead.
Trey, you want to share this?
So the way the application works and the articles that are attached to it that were filed with the probate court
Right.
on Friday, there's 5 members, okay, all of whom come from the ACEDA board.
Okay.
2 of those 5 are the 2 members that the commission appoints to the ACETA board. The remaining 3 are appointed from the commission, from the remaining 16 or 17 outstanding ACETA
Gotcha.
board members.
Okay. All right, just want to make sure we understood that correctly. I appreciate that. Any other comments or questions on that? Okay, we'll move forward with the consideration of a resolution in support of the Elmore County local legislation allowing for Sunday alcohol sales in Elmore County. Any comments or questions on this? I think we can provide some background here. In 2016, several of our neighboring counties and municipalities within those counties, Alexander City, Tallapoosa County, namely, along with Montgomery County and other municipalities that are pretty close to Elmore County, have all recently adopted legislation that has changed their practices in Sunday alcohol sales, both on and off premises. That has led to discussions from many of our local business owners, especially many of which are located in the northern part of the county, where people are able to just cross the county line, and some for this purpose of alcoholic beverages, but they're also spending their money on a lot of other things in those neighboring counties, and it's causing some revenue impact on some of our local business owners, not just in that area, but throughout the county, with the changes that have taken place from our neighbors in Montgomery, Tallapoosa County, and others. So that's to the point we're at right now. This resolution supports Elmore County local legislation which allows for on and off premises alcohol sales on Sundays in Elmore County. And I will say, and these other commissioners can maybe mention as well, we have spoken with the municipalities within the county. I have spoken directly, being Commission 3, with the City of Wetumpka and the leaders of the City of Wetumpka, and this legislation incorporates all of the municipalities as well. It does not exclude anyone, so all of the municipalities within the county could also fall under this legislation. Commissioner Mercer, you've spoken with?
Yeah, I've spoken with, I have 4 municipalities in my district, and I've spoken with each one of those. In fact, one is meeting tonight to consider a similar resolution in support of this. The way it would set up, if this goes through, then the municipalities can adopt the same, by ordinance, the same authorization for those businesses in their corporate limits. But you know, considering that the business, the game has changed since some of these companies have gone, these convenience stores have gone into business, especially with the presence of the authorization in Tallapoosa County now, and their ability to sell on Sunday. I've actually done some research and spoke to a gentleman that operates many convenience stores, and he said his store that is closest to Elmore County sees a 40 to 50% increase in sales, in-store sales on Sundays. He said, I can't tell you if all that is crackers or if it's beer, but he said, I can tell you that we do see that increase depending on the season. I think this is just purely an economic issue, in my opinion.
Any other comments, questions?
I got one question. Of course, I don't have any municipalities in my district, but if I understand this right, the City of Wetumpka, Millbrook, Eclectic, and all of those municipalities will still have to vote of their sales. Is that correct or is that incorrect?
Okay, the way the legislation reads right now, it allows for them all to adopt and fall under the same legislation that we are proposing. That is correct.
Correct, but that means, Mr. Courtney, is that not right? The city councils have to vote to do that. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So we're not imposing it on the cities. They're going to have to make their own decisions, right?
Right. Yes, sir. We're providing a pathway for them to have the choice. And one thing I want to make sure, we still have to advertise this for 4 consecutive weeks. before it can even go to the State House for consideration. Senator Chambliss would be our local legislator who would carry this if it is passed. But there is a 4-week advertising period before any of that would happen. So it still has a ways to go. Any other?
Mr. Chairman, I have two municipalities in District 2. I spoke with the mayor of Eclectic last week, and they actually have addressed it with the city council, and it was unanimous. I've spoken with the mayor of Tallahassee. He was for the proposition, the resolution, and he was going to get with his council and get it on the agenda over there. I've not heard from him, but I have heard from the mayor, and so we will hear from him shortly. I might add that I'm looking at this from strictly an economic perspective, and some of the businesses, as you pointed out, had begun to take a proactive role in starting petitions and so forth, and I think as a commission we certainly want to be proactive, and when an issue comes up like this that does affect the economy of the businesses in the county, I think we can be proactive and get out in front of that issue and not wait for businesses to think that they have to circulate petitions and so forth to get our attention. So I think that's what the entire commission is doing from my perspective up here, is to look at it from an economic standpoint affecting Elmore County businesses and the tax base. Thank you.
Agree. All right, we'll move forward. Consider approving a 050 retail beer off-premises only and a 070 retail table wine off-premises only liquor license transfer from Natvarlal V. Umragar. If you're here, I'm sorry. Shaley's Place to Adian 1 LLC for Titus Gas and Deli, located at 17047 US 231, Titus, Alabama 36080. Comments or questions on this? Transfer of an existing license. Okay, we'll move forward. Consider approving the rate of pay for dispatcher Chrissy Garcia at the same rate at the same time of her resignation, less supervisory pay based on prior experience with the Elmore County Sheriff's Office. Sheriff Franklin, if you want to address that.
This also has no impact on the budget. As a matter of fact, we're actually saving money now because Ms. Garcia was with us after the budget started on October 1. She actually was making, I think, $15.80, which is $1.20 above the starting pay. She came to us as an accomplished dispatcher where she had been in Tallapoosa County Sheriff's Office for several years. She came to us. She was with us a few years. I believe her husband's in the military. She had to go to West Point, Georgia. She landed a job there. When she left in good standing and actually told us that she hated to leave, but she was able to come back home. She wanted to come back to the Sheriff's Office. I said, no problem. 3 months later, 3.5 months later, she actually called. As circumstances presented themselves, she was able to come back to the Sheriff's Office. What I am asking is that she be allowed to come back not at her actual rate of pay because she was a supervisor, so she lost the supervisor spot. I think Ms. Puckett took her place. But at least we can get her back to her rate of pay minus the supervisory level pay, which I think equated to about 75 or 77 cents. So instead of her being paid $14.60 as she is now, we would request that she at least be able to come back to a starting pay of $15.01, which is 41 cents an hour, equates to about $800 a year.
So the period of time she was gone was about 3 months?
That's right, 3.5 months. And she's a first stringer. She's not a second stringer.
Any comments or questions?
I think we need to encourage Sheriff Franklin to attend every county commission meeting because everything he's brought up tonight is saving the county money.
Well, just looked out on that one now. Just the way that one.
You can tell he's been here before. The first thing he says is this doesn't affect the budget.
I figured that out a long time ago.
All right, thank you.
If it does, I need to come up with a way to pay for it.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any questions?
No, thank you.
Yes.
All right, consider amendment to the MAPper 1 job description to include the rate of pay of $13 per hour. Revenue Commissioner Macon.
Yes, this is on a very similar note to what the sheriff is doing, saving money. This MAPper 1 position replaces a mapping position, a certified mapper position, which pays somewhere $15, $16 an hour. We're replacing it because I don't have a certified mapper. I want to bring somebody in and train them. So, but we've already approved the job description itself, and we want to start at 13. It was left out of the previous approval, and this is just an amendment to that. This all comes out of our mapping and appraisal side, so it doesn't hit the general fund at all.
So the revenue from your mapping and appraising is what funds these positions?
Correct. Well, yeah, that budget. So it doesn't touch the general fund at all.
Any comments or questions? All right, thank you.
I want to commend one of your, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, I want to commend one of your employees, and I think her last name is English. Is that correct?
Not mine.
Okay. She is I've got the name wrong then. She is an appraiser that works the Lake Martin area.
Okay. Kelly Friday?
That's her.
Okay, Kelly.
Yeah, now how I came up with English on that, I'll never know. But anyway, she alerted us in law enforcement to a situation at one of the houses up in one of the neighborhoods up there, and recently, thankfully nothing was wrong, but she had discovered some unsecured doors and so forth and called us very promptly, and we were able to contact the owner and take care of the situation. So you have some very attentive appraisers out there.
Absolutely. I'm happy with the crew that I have. They make me look good. So
thank you.
I'll relay that message to her. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, declare vehicles, there's an attached list, surplus, and authorize the same to be sold through J.M. Wood Auction. Any comments or questions on that? All right, we'll proceed with the consent docket to approve the travel memo. Any items that need to be pulled out for discussion? All right, we'll move forward with the personnel notifications. Notification of promotion of Douglas Cole Cousins, Construction Supervisor, effective 3/20/2017, which was a vacant position. Notification of resignation of Michael Minardi, Corrections Officer, effective 3/8/2017. Notification of resignation of Colby Davis, Corrections Officer, effective 3/6/2017. Notification of Taryn Franklin, Dispatch Supervisor, effective 3/5/2017, to replace R. Puckett. We will proceed with the reports to the Commission. County Administrator's report, Ms. McDuffie.
Chairman, I have no report tonight, but I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you. Highway Department, Mr. Richie Byer.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, a couple items for you. First, you've got a flyer in front of you about the upcoming countywide shred event. This is an annual event we do to provide an opportunity for citizens to be able to bring, I believe it's 5 or 6 boxes of documents to be able to have them shred for protect against identity theft and things of that nature. I think we started that about 3 or 4 years ago. We run it from 8 to 12, and it'll be at the Judicial Complex, so you'll put that on your calendars. Another item for your calendars, I think this is a reminder for you, next Tuesday, the 21st at 9 a.m. we'll have a safety meeting. That's pretty much all the department heads. If you would like to attend, if you'll let me know so I can make sure I only have 2 commissioners present for that meeting, I appreciate that, so we don't run into any issues there. We'll be talking about our claim history. We'll be talking about building, security needs, things of that nature. It's a forum for that, and we try to do that at least twice a year as a large group, and then the departments are supposed to be having safety meetings on a quarterly basis. We're still monitoring the HRIP 2 legislation. Reports from the ACCA are very positive on the legislation. I think there's some consensus on the full package to where it includes the DOT and local government. We look for that to drop after the legislature comes back from the 2-week recess, so that should be the April 4th time frame, that Tuesday. And we're still working on our plans to execute the funding should it become available. Just as a reminder for the audience, Elmore County would stand to get about $19 million out of this HRIP 2 proposal. About 4 of that goes to our municipalities to be divvied up by population, and about $15 million to the county as a whole. One of the requirements is the county commission has a plan that they adopt that shows how that money will be spent, and it looks like there's going to be multiple iterations of the way the money comes out depending on the way that the bonds are issued for the county portion. Our annex project right across the out the windows there is progressing well. We're still on schedule for the August-September time frame. So you'll be seeing a little bit more in terms of supplies delivered outside. The actual stone for the exterior will be coming in the next few weeks. The elevator car will be here as well, and I think in the next couple of weeks we'll be shifting over to where the power sources for the 2 buildings are linked together, and we'll have power over in that building as well. Our energy improvement project is close to ending. I think I reported to you at the last meeting. We're still looking at the end of March for that to finish up, and once that is complete, we're going to have Snyder come in around the 1st of May and give you all kind of an exit presentation, show you what's been done, what the expectations are, and also talk to you a little bit about their monitoring program that will go on for the next few years where they guarantee our savings and they monitor it. Currently, crews are busy working on Ingram Road, getting that project ready for the culvert projects. We're installing some retaining walls there, gabion baskets. We're getting the finishing touches on Double Bridge for the resurfacing project out there. We're still doing some shoulder work. We had to close Kane Road a few weeks ago, Commissioner Reeves, and we are actively working right now to get that open, get the pipe replacement made. The business park is an ongoing project. We should get back onto that this week. So that's a handful of things project-wise that we've got going on. And then lastly, I just want to thank the Commission for the support and encouragement that you provided as I was given the opportunity to testify in front of those congressional subcommittees. We don't get opportunities like that very often, and for y'all to, especially being brand new in office, to seize that opportunity and make sure you encourage me, I greatly appreciate that. And that's been the reason that these kind of opportunities come along, is because I've had commissions that have bought into that and know that we've got to travel outside of the county boundaries to be able to bring opportunities back to this county, whether it's additional grant dollars or savings. And I just want to say thank you publicly to y'all, because y'all were very instrumental in making that happen, and definitely encouraging me, and I appreciate that very much. Mr. Chairman, that's all I have in the way of a report. Do y'all have any questions for me?
One question about the HRIP bill as it proceeds through the process. Is it still intact as far as no federal requirements?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Emergency Management, Eric Jones.
Yes, Commissioners and Chairman, just a couple of updates on projects we're working on right now. We've got a number of plan updates and databases that we maintain that we're currently updating and maintaining right now. We've got a number of training courses that we're hosting that'll be coming up. I've sent a number of those for information out to y'all. One of them's the Hazardous Materials Awareness and Recognition course that we're offering on the 28th and 29th. And then also the Special Event Security Planning for Public Safety Professionals course being held on May 2nd and 3rd. That's a really good class that we're looking forward to for more special event planning, and we've had a lot of interest in that. And then, of course, we've got our Preparedness Fair, April the 8th, that we're doing in coordination with the Board of Education at Wetumpka High School. And then today we participated in a training program at the Montgomery Regional Airport on drones and issues with the drones that we're beginning to see more issues with, and the more prevalent use of drones by everybody. It's not just people using it for media or for you know, just recreational purposes anymore. You're beginning to see it for people who are in business for commercial purposes and things like that. The federal regulations are changing pretty much daily right now, so it's really hard to stay on top of that. I know I've talked to Ms. McDuffie about this and some uses and some applications that we can use drone technology and damage assessments and a lot of areas of emergency management. And we've got a lot of work to do in this area to stay on top of this. And I want to continue, the research and the application process that we would need to be up to date with where we need to be with, drone technology for the county so that we can use it, to the most efficient, effective manner for the county with the least liability. Our annual association meeting is this week in Prattville. The Alabama Association of Emergency Managers Conference is over at Prattville, along with the Governor's Emergency Preparedness Conference. It will conclude on Thursday. It starts tomorrow, concludes on Thursday. We've got a chock-full agenda on both of those schedules, and I know Director Faulkner is in the back. He'll be speaking to us about a lot of updates with emergency management. The only other thing I guess I wanted to mention business related tonight is the work we've been doing coordinating with Benchmark and CSX on the crossing maintenance over in the west side of our county. I would really like to commend them on the communications that they've had with us this time. They've done a really good job of keeping us informed of when that work and what work is taking place, what roads will be closed. Currently, they still have the crossing on Politic Road in Elmore, along with Jackson Street closed, and Marion Spillway. They've got those three closed for tonight, and they have the Spigner Circle crossing tipped back in for tonight. But all of those crossings should be reopened tomorrow with all the paving complete, and then all they have left in Elmore County to work on is up in the Deaksville area. The only other thing I really wanted to mention was the kudos to our county engineer. I was able to go and witness him representing Elmore County in a fashion that made me very proud to be a citizen of Elmore County and a son of Elmore County. It was phenomenal to be able to see the way he presented his statement to the congressional hearing and committee that he was testifying to. And I just appreciate the job that he did on that. I really do. It was quite phenomenal. Do y'all have any questions of me at this time?
Thank you.
Certainly.
All right, County Attorney Report, Jeff Courtney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I do have something I'd like to say. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, I thank you very much for the opportunity to serve as County Attorney. It is a great honor to serve as County Attorney. I'm very appreciative, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right, reports from the Commission. Commissioner Holt.
I had one question, and I'll give a report. I noticed there was 2 grills up in the parking lot. Were they left over from the pickup this weekend? Did you notice those 2 barbecue grills, Sheriff? Up in the front of the parking lot. Did we have pickup this weekend up there, Richie? Okay, somebody apparently came later and left 2 grills. So I noticed that. I just wanted to. You did too? But anyway, I wanted to mention that. But I would like to say, do what, Eric? Do what? Okay. I do appreciate what you did, Richie, and I happened to be there. Not for the hearing, but for the congressional subcommittee that you testified. But we were there in Washington, and it was much appreciated what you did do. And I think that, me personally, I think we learned quite a number of things that will help us going forward. I went into the transportation meetings, because that's what I'm trying to do here. And so I really enjoyed that. Some applied and some didn't, correct? I mean, some things would apply to Elmore County and some wouldn't. One thing I did learn for sure, and that is, I sure do like it in Elmore County as far as the cost of living and the conveniences and all. But I think it was worth our investment myself, and I appreciate what you did.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Just want to thank everyone for coming to your county commission meeting.
Mr. Mercer.
Yeah, just a couple of things here. Just to make sure everybody knows, the Millbrook Chamber is having their quarterly membership luncheon March 16th, and they're also having along with the city of Millbrook, a bass tournament on Lake Jordan, leaving for Bonners on April 15th. I as well attended the NACO conference, which is the National Association of Counties, and attended many of the economic development meetings. Found them very interesting. Of course, at these meetings is where these committees set policy for the national organization to use on many different things that affect the counties, not just economic development or transportation, but a whole range of subjects. I found it very useful to be there. Of course, I was not on the committee, so I had to sit with my back to the wall and my mouth closed. I wanted to stand up and say things many times because there's not a lot of small counties as compared to who sits at the table on some of these committees. That I asked one guy how many people he had in his district, and he said like 600,000. And so, you know, there is representation for smaller counties, but I found it very, very beneficial for someone such as myself or for any county of this size to be at those meetings and have a voice at the table.
Commissioner Reeves?
I want to thank everyone for coming to commissioner meeting today. And Richard, you did, I told you to bring you back a good report. You did a good job. I was wanted to commend you for that. And thank you for all the way you did it. So you looked out for everything. We appreciate that. And I'm glad to have back on board with us, Attorney Jeff Courtney. He had that to this county because he was here and he knew a lot of things that's going on, and he's in a new position. He can lead you in the right direction and some of the things you have to do. So we thank you.
Thank you. I, too, appreciate everyone being here today. We appreciate your involvement and your willingness to support all the things going on in our great county, and we hope that we will serve you in the right capacity, and we would encourage you to continue to be involved and participate with your county commissioners, not just at the county commission meetings. I had the privilege to speak to a couple of different groups over the last 2 weeks, one a neighborhood association and another a business organization here in the county, and it is a great joy to meet with people who care about what's going on in the county, and that's where we can really have that interaction and that opportunity to learn from each other as opposed to somebody lecturing, but it provides a great opportunity to interact, to learn how people think, to learn what their expectations are, and that's where we can truly make a difference. So, but we appreciate you being here, and we look forward to speaking with all of you. We will go to the important calendar dates. Ms. McDuffie.
Yes, Chairman. Tuesday, March 21st is the Safety Committee meeting, 9 a.m. at the Highway Department. Wednesday, March 22nd through Thursday, March 23rd is for the County Commissioners, the Personnel Administration course at the Legends in Prattville. Thursday, March 23rd through Friday, March 24th is the Road and Bridges course for the Commissioners at the Legends in Prattville. And Monday, March the 27th is our next County Commission work session at 5 with the business meeting immediately following.
All right. Thank you. We'll reconvene in a few minutes. Welcome to the Elmore County Commission business meeting, Monday, March 13, 2017, beginning at 6:05. I'll call this meeting to order. We'd like to invite Eric Jones to provide us with the invocation.
Let us pray. Dear God, we come to you this evening. We just thank you for your creation, dear God, that we're allowed to be able to enjoy each and every day. Dear God, your word says it is good, dear God, when you created it. And dear Lord, we just thank you for being able to enjoy it. And dear Lord, just to be able to live as we do here in the wonderful place called Elmore County, dear God. We're so blessed to have all that we do, dear God, that so many don't enjoy. Most of all, we thank you for the peaceful proceedings of business meetings like this tonight, dear Lord, that we're able to enjoy, dear God. And I just thank you for our elected officials at the local level, dear God, and the state level, and all that they do for us, the sacrifices that they make, dear God. I just pray for them, pray for their health, their families, dear God, as they're away from them for so many hours, dear God. I lift them up. I pray for strength and courage and just wisdom for each of them, dear God, to make the decisions that they need to, dear Lord, as they carry out so much business that impacts so many people, dear Lord. I just pray that their hearts are burdened over what your heart is burdened with, dear God, in making those decisions. Again, just thank you for the soldiers, the men and women who are fighting for our freedoms
overseas, dear God, and dear Lord, I just pray for a protective hedge to be created around them and that they will come home safely. Again, just thank you for all the sacrifices they make for each of us. And again, just thank you for all that you do for us, dear God. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Commissioner Holt,
Here.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Here.
Chairman Stubbs.
Here.
Commissioner Mercer.
Here.
Commissioner Reeves.
All right, proceeding with our regular business, motion to approve, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the February 23, 2017 Commission meeting?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
All right, is there a motion to approve the minutes of the March 7, 2017 Commission meeting?
Motion.
Second.
Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
All right, is there a motion to approve the memorandum of warrants for the period of February 16, 2017 through March 7, 2017?
Motion to approve.
I'll second. Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
All right, proceeding with the new business. Is there a motion to approve or deny the appropriation of $5,000 to the Wetumpka Area Chamber of Commerce?
Chairman, I'd like to table this so we can further look at what we're doing or may have been requested to do for the other chambers and also for Wetumpka and address this in the future.
Is there a second to that? I'll second that. Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
All right, is there a motion to approve or deny the resolution approving an application for the formation of an Elmore County Industrial Development Authority?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
All right, is there a motion to approve or deny the Elmore County Industrial Development Authority Board appointments as listed here? Seat 1, Gwendolyn Long. Seat 2, to be determined at a later date. Seat 3, Harris Garner. Seat 4, Rhett Smith. Seat 5, Art Faulkner.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt,
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
I'll recuse myself on this vote as seat number 4, Rhett Smith, is a family member by marriage.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
All right, is there a motion to approve or deny the resolution in support of Elmore County local legislation allowing for Sunday sales of alcohol beverages?
Motion to approve.
I'm sorry, who seconded
Reeves.
that? Commissioner Holt.
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
All right, is there a motion to approve or deny a 050 retail beer off-premises only and a 070 retail table wine off-premises only liquor license transfer from Nat Varlaw v. Umriger Shaley's Place to Adian 1 LLC for Titus Gas and Deli located at 17047 US 231 North Titus, Alabama 36080.
Make a motion.
Second.
Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt.
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry.
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs.
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer.
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves.
Is there a motion to approve or deny the rate of pay for dispatcher Chrissy Garcia at the same rate at her time of resignation, less the supervisory pay, based on prior experience with the Elmore County Sheriff's Office?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
All right, is there a motion to approve or deny the MAPper 1 job description to include the rate of pay of $13 an hour?
Second.
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
Is there a motion to approve or deny declaring the vehicles on the attached list surplus property and authorize the same to be sold through J.M. Wood Auction?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
All right, moving on to the consent docket to approve the travel memo.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. McDuffie?
Commissioner Holt?
Yes.
Commissioner Daughtry?
Yes.
Chairman Stubbs?
Yes.
Commissioner Mercer?
Yes.
Commissioner Reeves?
All right, moving on with the personnel notifications. Notification of promotion of Douglas Cole Cousins, Construction Supervisor, effective 3/20/2017 to a vacant position. Notification of resignation of Michael Minardi, Corrections Officer, effective 3/8/2017. Notification of resignation of Colby Davis, Corrections Officer, effective 3/6/2017. Notification of Taryn Franklin, Dispatch Supervisor, effective 3/5/2017 to replace R. Puckett. Reports to the Commission. County Administrator.
No additional report.
Highway Department. EMA. County Attorney. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Before we adjourn, I'd like to recognize, one of our city councilmen this evening tonight from the city of Wisconsin.
Thank you for being here, Mr. Percy Gill. Thanks for bringing that up, Commissioner Reeves. All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Commissioner Mercer, we got a second? All right, roll call.
Yes.
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 Meeting adjourned.